Hey, what's good guys? Tiger here, back with another video. Today I thought I would go over the update that went out yesterday. This is patch 1.05 and there are lots of changes, lots of really exciting changes that Treyarch have made, and this is honestly just so satisfying to hear Treyarch make these changes because they are clearly listening to our feedback. Now I do think that some of these changes should have been a bit harsher, but let's get straight into it and go down what we have in this new patch. Okay, so the new features. We now have Nuketown. It is available on PS4 and it is going to be available to Xbox and PC in 1 week's time. We now have daily tier skips. So what this means is if you play a game every 24 hours, you completely skip a tier. You don't have to level it up. So it's just another way to go through the tiers a lot faster. What's great. Blackjack's shop is now open and it's basically very similar to how Fortnite do it. It's basically a page where you can spend COD points to get a variety of either limited or just featured skins and just in-game stuff. It's not a big deal in all honesty. There's probably going to be some really cool things in here that you might want to spend your money on, but it's not a big massive feature that a lot of people are making it out to be. It's just something nice to have for those that do want to spend real money. So we have the Nuketown featured playlist, what is a variety of game modes just purely on Nuketown. We also have another featured playlist that is new. It's called the Endurance Chaos Mosh Pit, and the reason why it's called Endurance is because the score limit is doubled and it's 6v6, so that explains why it's Chaos and Endurance. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play that more and more. There is also a Mercenary Capture Mosh Pit for those of you that like to play solo and like to play the objective as well. The CWL playlist rule set has now been implemented into custom games, so you can now quickly select the CWL playlist so you don't have to keep creating the games. So that's really good for those of you that like to play competitive. That is really nice to see. There is also specific gameplay changes in the CWL custom games as well. I'm not going to go over it in today's video, but that is something that is really good to see as well. So moving over to Blackout, we now have the Bowie knife, or the Bowie knife, however you want to pronounce it, in Black Ops. That is a very specific Black Ops weapon. What we first saw in COD 5 World at War, that was really fun. So it's good that we've got that back now in Blackout. There is also the Icons character missions now unlocked for you to get in Blackout. So we can now unlock Mason, Woods, Mendez and Reznov. So that's really cool. I can't wait to unlock those characters. Also, team scoreboards have been added for duos and quads, so you can see how your team is doing in the game. Okay, so with the new features out the way, let's go over the buffs. So these are the weapons and items that have been buffed in this latest patch. So we have all the submachine guns. So all the subs have been buffed. Most of them have had a 5-hit kill range increased, but the Spitfire has a 6-hit kill range increased, and this is a multiplayer only change. Also, the ADS move speed has been increased for all subs as well, so that's really good. Now, the MADDOX has had a buff and a nerf. So the buff has been specifically to the operator mod. They've removed the recoil penalty. The KN57 has reduced idle sway and increased 4-hit kill range. I think that is well deserved because the KN is just completely trash in core. The Rampart has reduced idle sway, reduced recoil for the first and third shot, and an increased 4-hit kill range. So that's really interesting for the Rampart. It really looks like they want that gun to compete with the MADDOX. So that's really interesting because the Rampart was already a really good gun. Now it's going to be amazing. So definitely go try that gun out if you already enjoy it. Next up we have the Swordfish. It has a reduced delay between bursts, reduced idle sway, and the operator mod now has a standard burst delay, what is also a buff. So the Swordfish has had a massive buff as well, so that's really cool. Now the Outlaw Sniper, what is just completely dog shit, now has increased fire rate, greatly reduced idle sway, increased ADS speed. The ADS for the rechamber animation is now easier to stay on target, recoil now centers more reliable, and the base damage has been increased by 10. This mainly affects shots to kill enemies that have already been damaged. So a massive buff to the Outlaw. Whether it's going to be any good or not, we'll have to wait and see, but I think that is a really good change because the Outlaw definitely needs some love. Small change to the SDM and the Koshka. The SDM has added aim assists while hip firing, and the Koshka, the recoil centers a lot more reliable after the first shot. Now, one specialist has been buffed. There have been some minor tweaks to some other specialists, but the only specialist that has been buffed is Prophet. His Tempest now has improved accuracy, and some other minor bug fixes that help Prophet as well. So that's interesting for Prophet because his Tempest definitely is not as good as it was in Black Ops 3. However, you can get those really good Prophet plays as well in Black Ops 4. So it's nice to see Prophet is getting some love. Now, regarding perks, there have been lots of buffs to the perks, what I think is really good to see. Tactical Mask has now increased resistance to 9-bang, concussion and razor wire. Flak Jacket has increased resistance to explosive damage. Cold-Blooded has increased delay period before the enemy AI targets you and kills you. Dead Silence suppresses healing, full damage and surface swimming. So all those things are just really good, really helping you stay alive. Nothing has really been added to those perks, they've just been made more effective. Now, there has been a slight buff to a few weapons in Hardcore, however it's an indirect buff. Basically in Hardcore, the health has been adjusted to help low damage weapons like submachine guns and pistols. So we already knew that the Strife was absolutely dominant, but I think this is really going to help with maybe the RK7 Garrison, as well as the submachine guns that also need love in Hardcore. Okay, so let's move on to the nerfs. This is what you guys are really going to love. Okay, so the first one is the MADDOX. It has increased recoil for the first and second shot. Now the Titan, this is the big one. This is the OP gun. Okay, so the Titan has reduced ADS speed, increased sprint out time, increased hipfire spread, that's for multiplayer only, and the stock attachment has reduced movement benefits when equipped, and that is another multiplayer only change as well. Now, I have been seeing the Titan in game and it is still very strong, so this isn't a nerf that is completely just killing off the Titan. It's still probably the best gun in the game. In my opinion, it needs another nerf. This just isn't effective enough. It probably needs either a recoil buff, a damage nerf, or either a fire rate nerf, in my opinion. So if you're the kind of player that like to use the best guns, Titan is still one of them. Now, these nerfs are good. It's trying to make it more of an LMG and less than just an assault rifle and a submachine gun, because you can use the Titan at the moment any way you want to, so they need to make it feel more like an LMG. The changes looks like that's what they're trying to do, but in my opinion, it's not enough. Okay, so the SG12 strobe light. You know, that really fucking annoying light. It's horrible, especially in core. In hardcore, it's pretty useless. So the SG12's strobe light has reduced visual effects. Also, there is a reduced range at which the strobe light affects aim assist by 50%. So that is good. Now, I have seen the strobe light already and it is still pretty powerful. It's still going to affect you a lot. However, these are changes that are going in the right place. I really hope this makes the strobe light a lot less viable. I'm not really sure how they can actually balance the strobe light because it's just so annoying, but this is a nerf that is needed. Okay, so Grip 2 is now not as effective. So this is an indirect nerf to both the GKS and the ICR. The ICR is a top tier weapon at the moment, especially in competitive, so this might drop the ICR out of the best weapons in the game, and the Rampart could possibly replace this. We'll have to wait and see as we start to play more of this patch. Okay, so a specialist nerf. I think we were all expecting this, and it's AJAX. So AJAX has a reduced 9-bang duration by 25%. Tac Mask counters the 9-bang much more effectively, what's excellent. The bullet spread of AJAX when he is shooting with his ballistic shield up, the bullet spread is now increased by 25%, so this means he's going to be a lot less accurate, so he's going to kill you a lot slower, especially at those longer ranges. So that's really good. I think that is going to be a good nerf. I really hope that 25% is really noticeable. It might need more, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, the turn speed of AJAX when he's equipped with the ballistic shield has been reduced when concussed, and there's also a third-person sound effect added for charges 2 and 3. There's been a little nerf to the strike team. There can only be one strike team active per team at a time. So before, you could literally have like 2 people with 2 strike teams on the map at once. That has now been removed. So that is really good for those of you that are just getting absolutely destroyed by a team. Okay, so moving on, we're just going to be looking at changes. So these are not buffs, these are not nerfs, these are just changes in the game. So spawns have been improved for Arsenal, Summit, Payload, Seaside and Gridlock, pretty much across all game modes. Hardpoint spawn logic has been improved what gives less weight for the team near the active hardpoint, what means hardpoints are going to be easier to break and you're going to be able to flip the spawns a lot easier in multiplayer. And armor has been rebalanced in hardcore specifically, so armor can effectively counter some weapons by requiring an extra shot, and high damage weapons counter armor by overriding its protection. So I'm not sure exactly how that is going to play out in game, but it's interesting that they are looking at armor and trying to make it better in hardcore. So I hope you hardcore fans do enjoy that change. Okay, so they are all the changes from patch 1.05 from November the 13th. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video and you liked the style of this video. If you did and you want to see more, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. But that is all from me, guys. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.